Welcome to Content Camp.
Hello, everybody, and indeed, welcome to another edition of Content Camp. Today, we're here with Cheryl McSweeney. Cheryl, thank you so much for being here.
It is my
And
pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
yeah, and so from what I hear, we're given a little bit of information before each show. From what I hear, you help teens with stress.
I try to. It's not always easy, but it is something that I feel very passionate about because in my past work, when I worked with a lot of junior high and high school students, I could see because they would talk to me a lot about the stress that they were under. And I would see the ways that they would deal with that stress, and it was not always healthy choices. And that really concerned me. So when I left that position, I decided that this was something I really wanted to pursue in getting more information and getting trained on how to help young people deal with stress in a better way, in a healthier way.
Yeah. So, what's that job like? Like, are you a therapist or something
I am
different?
not a therapist. And that's really important to understand the difference because a therapist is really going to work with you on how your thoughts work and how to change some of the ways your thoughts work. But I do not do that directly in the same way that they do it. I am more about, it is very scientific, but I'm more about how important it is and how much control you have over the stress in your body and how you can control that in ways that are really healthy and not damaging for you as a human. And it really comes down to simply your breath. And a lot of times for people, you know, you think about it when you are with little kids and they get really upset about something, you're like, don't just breathe, take a deep breath. That makes them really mad. When you say, take a deep breath, they're like, I don't want to take a deep breath right now. I just want to be mad. So what I try to do is to teach young people how to work with their breath before they get in those situations so that when they do get in those situations, resolving the problem and getting themselves calmed down or getting themselves de-stressed is a little bit easier than it would be otherwise. So for me, what that looks like from a job standpoint, it's really different all the time. I have worked with junior high student council before here in Fishers. And what I worked with them on, typically kids who are on student council are very high achieving. And because of that, they live with a lot of stress because they put a lot of expectations on themselves or they have very high expectations put upon them. But they are never told how to deal with stress when things get hard. You guys know how difficult school can be and how important grades are. You're all told, you know, you've got to get good grades to get into college or to get into the military or to get into the workforce, whatever your decision is after school. And that pressure just rides on you every single day. And so with every test, with every class that you take, you are worried about, I have to do well. This is what is going to help me be successful in the future. And so for a lot of kids, that is really difficult to handle and to deal with. And I try to teach them. I worked with these junior high kids and I taught them about how important it is to breathe even before a test. If you're just sitting there, when I was your age, I was not a good test taker because my anxiety would just go through the roof. And especially, do you guys still take timed tests? Did you ever take time tests, you know, like multiplication facts or division facts? That timer would go off and I'd hear tick, 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 tick. Well, I wasn't going to do anything. I couldn't even begin to get the first problem solved. I knew the answers, but my anxiety just flew and, you know, your brain either goes into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. I would freeze. As soon as there's a timer going, I can't function. I would just completely freeze. If I had known then that if I could control it with my breath, that I could tell myself and ground myself and say, it's okay. You know these answers. You've got this. And take those deep breaths and get my body to a point where there were parts of my brain that were not controlling it, making me panic. I would have been a much, much better student from that standpoint. There's a much bigger picture to that as far as thinking about where you want to go after school. You know, if you want to get into college, it's really hard right now. It's always been hard, but it's getting harder, I think, to find a place where you can fit in and where you can get it. And not only that, but sometimes the schools add pressure to you with no intention of it. But you know, they're going to look better if they have students getting into better schools. So that pressure is mounting. You know, your parents have expectations here. The schools have expectations here. You have expectations here. How are you going to meet all of those? And that comes crashing in on you all at once. And that's when your brain says, I'm either going to fight this, meaning I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to flight, which means you run from it. I am going to freeze. You're not going to do anything. Or you're going to fawn, which means I'm just going to do whatever other people tell me to do so that I'm happy, so that they're happy. So you have those four choices. But with your breath and being able to take a breath in the right way at the right time and be able to get all of the chemicals in your brain kind of calm down again, you can think more clearly and make better choices. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Isn't it a fact that like only like you don't use 80% of what you learn in school in your daily life?
It may be. I don't know if that's a true fact or not. There are certainly things that I learned in school that I can look back now and say, I'm never going to use that again. I don't use it now. And there are things I wish I would have learned in school that weren't taught, that I definitely wish I would have known how to do. But I think that is something that our schools are working really hard to do better. But I think as humans, we're doing better and saying, okay, if I'm not going to learn it here, we have a world of information at our fingertips all the time. So we can say, well, they're not teaching me this, and I feel like I need to know that. I can go out and learn that on my own. So you can really make good choices in that way. But being able to deal with that stress is really, really important.
Yeah, it's a different world for sure. And speaking of dealing with stress, I'm just curious to hear from the kids. I mean, I can think to myself of what types of things stressed me out when I was a teenager.
Mhm.
I want to hear from you guys. You know, what what are stresses in teenagers' lives these days?
Fitting in, obviously. Peer pressure is definitely a big one, and I'd say like people pleasing. So
Mhm.
like making sure like everybody else is happy before you are.
Mhm.
Say that stresses a lot of us out. I mean, at least me.
Mhm.
What about you, Libby?
Um, for me, I would say I feel a lot of stress, especially like in school when I kind of get closer to like finals week and like all my big state testing and all of that. But then just in general, like as someone that plays sports, like I feel like I feel a lot of stress and put a lot of stress on myself to like perform well and like all of that and like make sure that I'm doing everything that I need to do. So,
Mm. I think for me, I guess I'm just kind of paranoid in a way. I'm just I really I don't know. I don't want to end up homeless someday, sitting on a street.
Mhm.
That's like my biggest fear. I
I don't think you will, but I love that that is something that rides in your brain with you, that you have set this level of expectation of, I need to be successful enough that I can provide for myself. That is just a core basic need, and that is a really healthy thing to think about. But there's such a big picture out there of the world, but you've got, as teenagers, stress literally coming at you from every direction. Yes?
Hmm.
Yeah, you do. And in a way that I did not have when I was growing up. Social media was computers didn't exist when I was your age. There was no computers, let alone social media. So if I fell down the bleacher stairs at school, the kids in my school knew about it and would laugh at me. But there weren't people across the world. There weren't a million people following that video. And I know that's something that as teenagers today, you have to deal with that we never had to deal with. So I think that really adds an additional pressure. And I'm so glad, Libby, that you brought up athletics. That is huge. That is huge. Are either of you, Louis or Landon, are either of you athletes?
I'm not.
I play sports. I'm not
Okay.
really an athlete. I wouldn't describe myself as an athlete, but yes,
That's
I play
okay.
sports.
So you play sports. Louis, do you do anything extracurricular?
Yeah, I'm in a band.
Yes. Okay. So I raised all performing arts kids. So it's hard for me to understand the athletic mentality because I didn't raise athletes and I wasn't an athlete, but I've spent a lot of time around athletes. And I go to a lot of professional sporting events. Basketball is my favorite. So if you go to a Fever game or you go to a Pacers game and you watch those players, especially when they're at the free throw line, what do you see them do?
Breathe.
I feel like we could almost end there. I mean, they're breathing. They're standing at that free throw line and they go, literally everybody, no matter where you're sitting, can see them go because they have to relax. They've got to get themselves in a position where they can think clearly and do and perform at the level they know they're capable of. But you look at all the pressure that's on them. Can you imagine having a job where thousands, if not millions of people are watching you do your job and judging you on how you do your job, what you wear, what you do, and what you say, everything under the sun? They get out there and they take a deep breath. Now, when Miles Turner played for the Pacers, I really respected him because he would sit on his seat before the game ever started. Players are warming up. He would sit over there with his eyes closed, and I could tell he was doing breathing exercises.
Hmm.
He was getting really focused and prepared for the game mentally in a way that other players were out there practicing, shooting hoops, doing things.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry at all. It's great.
Libby, that's your new stress. Maybe you didn't. A new
Take a
stress.
deep breath, Libby.
Sorry.
Libby,
You're absolutely
remind your
fine.
brothers that I know how to find them. I know where they live.
Okay, guys, this is live. Like, I actually need you to stop. I actually need to. Thank you. I love you. Goodbye. No, that's
That
mine.
was such a nice thing to say.
Okay,
It
goodbye.
was
Love
way
you.
nicer than my siblings would have been to me. I love you. Goodbye.
That's like that's a good movie title or
Yeah.
or a novel or something.
Well, anyway,
Um,
I mean, I think this is, we all know you guys have a ton of stress and it's
Yeah.
coming at you from every direction. I guess my thing is, what do you do now to relieve your stress? Is there anything that you do that you're like, when you're really stressed, what do you do? Do you talk to a friend? Do you get really mad? Do you journal? I don't know. What do you do?
who wants to
Well,
go? Yeah, go
I
ahead,
kind
Liz.
of like
Oh,
who's talking? No, I kind of like I either like listen to music or like write lyrics.
Love that. That's awesome. Music is a great, great stress reliever. Good for you. What about you
Um,
guys?
I'll either I'll either think to myself I should be working right now, or I play guitar.
Great stress reliever. Do you feel better after you play the guitar?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay, that's fair.
Ooh.
What about you, Libby?
I'll either bake or I might like go shoot baskets or something, like at a gym or something like that, or just listen to music.
I love those are all great answers. Those are all great answers. And finding ways that you can do that, that you can relieve your stress, is really what's important. And it's really one of the keys to it, and this is where it gets really complicated, is being able to communicate to other people that you're stressed. Because when we get stressed, we want to keep it inside, right? Like it's just private. Like I'm not going to tell anybody I'm stressed out. When I have three children that are all grown and have moved out of the house, and our youngest really struggled in school, and she would come home. She didn't just struggle academically, she did struggle academically, but she also struggled socially. And so, after a full day of being at a really big high school, she would come home and get really mad at me. I hadn't done anything, but she would come in the door and immediately get mad at me. And we had to figure out, as parent and child, how to tell each other, I'm having a moment and I need to step away, or I need you to just let me vent, or whatever. So we learned how to do that. And she actually taught me. So she would say to me, Mom, I need to talk to you. I need to say something. I don't need you to fix it. Because as a mom, I want to fix her problems. I still want to. She's 26 years old, and I'm still like, oh, here, let me fix that. She's like, Mom, I'm 26. I can do it. So it's really important that you get to a point where you can talk to your parents or talk to your family members and be able to say, even if you have a code word, if you say barbecue sauce, they know, okay, they're off limits. I got to give them 15 minutes of quiet time or whatever for them to go bake or play guitar or shoot hoops or whatever you got to do. I need some space. But my youngest really taught me as a parent how to do that. So if that's something that's difficult for you and you look at that and you go, oh yeah, there's no way I could do that. You can. And it's really important that you talk to your parents and say, I'm having a bad day and I just need to be mad at somebody, and right now it's you, because I know you still love me no matter what. At least they'll know you're not really mad at them. They gotta know where you're coming from. I don't call it an argument, I call it a courageous conversation.
Bye.
Really, really important that you have
Bye.
those courageous conversations with your parents, with your friends, with whoever, with your younger siblings,
Yeah,
whoever
yeah.
it
Yes,
is.
yes,
Courageous
yes.
conversations.
I don't communicate well. That's not my thing. I just kind of like keep it inside. I write it out. That's my
But
way of
that's perfect.
communication.
So when you write it out, you just write it out on a piece of paper?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I love that.
Or I make a song out of it, but it's not like I go and talk to anybody.
I mean, think about this. Who's your favorite musician? What music do you listen to?
Christian hip hop and rap.
Okay, tell me. You really need to meet Mr. Shaughnessy then when you have not. Anyway, so who's your favorite Christian artist?
Either Tate Butts or Forrest Frank.
Okay, and when you listen to their songs and you listen to their lyrics, are there lyrics that you listen to and you think, wow,
Well, Tate Butts a lot, yeah, because he's like right around my age, so like
Mm.
he writes about his life. So yeah, like his stuff relates to my life in a way that I didn't know possible. So like, yeah.
See, so you're doing exactly what he does. And he's no different than you. He might be out there doing big things, but he's going through the same stuff you're going through. And that's really important for you to understand and know that you could do the same thing. So you sit there and you said to me, it's more relatable. His life and my life are very similar. You're probably surrounded by other kids who are going through all the same things you're going through, but they don't know that you're going through it because you keep it all right here. So sometimes it's really good to be able to talk to somebody and say, I'm going through this. Even if the way that you talk to them is by writing down song lyrics and saying, yeah, this was my day yesterday.
So Cheryl,
It's kind of awkward for me.
I get it. I get that. That's a fair comment. It's a fair comment. Sorry.
I was wondering, how much research do you do into all these things? Is it
Well,
just experience, or do you actually take time and read books on it and stuff like that?
all of that. I actually took a course through an organization called the Benson Henry Institute, which is in Boston, Massachusetts. And that organization is focused on positivity in relaxation training. So that particular group was started by a man who was a Harvard professor in the medical school. And he's the one that discovered what the relaxation response is and being able to breathe and that chemically how it changes your body, taking those deep breaths. So I took a course through that organization that took about a year to get certified and trained. And then in the process after that, then I had to have my own practice groups and those types of things. So I have a lot of experience with that now, working with people and leading this 9-week course on helping people understand the importance of relaxation and how to relax, how to reduce your stress, or how to deal with your stress better. But also for 20 years working at a retreat house, mostly with high school and junior high students. I used to provide leadership retreats, and they would come, and I spent years working with high school students, hearing about what things were stressing them out in their lives and finding out how they dealt with it and trying to help them deal with it in a really healthy way. I have read a ton of books about how to handle stress in really good ways. So that's kind of how I've gotten my foundation in it.
So what are like the most common things you hear from teenagers?
Everything you guys have already said. I think number one is social media as far as stress.
Can you be be more specific on that, Cheryl? So it's stressing the kids out somehow?
Oh, absolutely. Because it's the feedback that they may get from people when they post something. Or if now with AI, if something is posted or not posted, people have access to so much and they can create things that don't put you in a good light and they can put it out there and it looks real. And that's really stressful for people, for teens specifically. I think athletics, I hear a lot from student athletes about how much pressure they're under to perform. And not just to perform, but just to make the team. Not making the cut is incredibly stressful. And also making the team very stressful because then you're expected to perform at a certain level. And if you don't do well, then everybody sees it. And that's very, very stressful. Even musicians and performers, you hit a wrong note or you don't perform up to even your own standards, let alone someone else's, you're going to hear about it. You may not hear it 9 times out of 10. In fact, I'd almost say 10 out of 10. You'll never hear it directly from the person's mouth. you'll read about it on social media.
Hmm.
Am I wrong? You guys tell me.
I don't have any social media, so I wouldn't know.
Good
But
for
like,
you. Keep it that way.
my friends have told me about it, and it intrigues me about how cruel people can get when they don't have when they have something to hide behind, when they're not saying it face to face. Because like I know there are some things that like people have probably said that they like get laid out for if they said it face to face to somebody.
Mhm. You're absolutely right. And that's where, social media has been so difficult for everybody, really. I know lots of adults that are under attack for things that they may or may not have said or done or whatever that are just being blown up on social media, and you don't know what's really real anymore. And that's scary.
I'm of the opinion, Cheryl, that there's even an element to these phones. They're so mesmerizing now. One of my hobbies has been to when I travel somewhere, I always try and pay attention when I'm in a new place. I want to see how many people are buried in their phone.
Mhm.
And when I started doing that, several years ago, it was, maybe it was less than 50-50. And um, uh, I'd say finally 2 years ago, I took a trip to Malaysia,
Mhm.
and I had a stopover in the Middle East, and so I was really out of my comfort zone. But I thought this will be an interesting experiment. Boy, everybody was buried in their phones. Lewis and I went to uh, Japan and to the Philippines last year. Same thing. I mean, everybody. And of course, we spent some time in my wife is from a very remote little village on an island in the Philippines, and you go in their house, and all the kids have their face in the phone. It's really, these are so mesmerizing and so powerful.
Yeah, and the power is scary, but it's the power it holds, not just what it can physically do, but how emotionally damaging it can be to everybody as you sit there and hold it and read about it yourself, or someone else. There I could name easily, 10 people off the top of my head who have been ruined by social media. And
And
I'll never know, what's real and what's not. Sorry, Landon.
and don't get me wrong, I like don't take this the wrong way, but I do think there are some pros to social media.
Hmm.
Like I have Pinterest and that's about it. But like even on Pinterest, I see like videos of different people sharing like faith stories and trying to like motivate others to do things. So I do think there's a pro to social media. The thing is, there's no boundaries on social media until you do something that's literally illegal, and then your account gets banned, but there's no legal action that actually gets taken place. So there's like zero boundaries.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I do, on both sides, I agree. There are some great things about social media. I love that I can keep in touch we hosted 5 exchange students over the past 20 years, all from different countries. And I can keep in touch with them in a way that I couldn't necessarily do back when I was a teenager. So I love that social media allows me that access. I love that if I don't know how to do something, my first thought is, well, I'll just go to YouTube. I'll be able to figure it out. And I do. And that is amazing. There are some really great things happening on social media. So you're right. I'm not offended by that comment at all. I think you're spot on with that. But I think the bad things that happen on social media are really bad. They're really
Libby,
bad.
what do you think about social media? Do you feel like, are you on social media at all?
Every
Yes.
single one. Yes. Basketball, basketball, basketball. That's all she thinks about every
Do you,
single day, 7
There's
days.
nothing wrong with that.
yeah. So is there a downside, Libby? What do you think?
Um, I definitely think there are downsides and stuff. Like I know we all hear about it and stuff. Personally, I've been lucky that I haven't seen it as much. I did see it a little bit like this past weekend and stuff, just with like some people, but I do think that it depends on your case a lot. Because like for sports and stuff, I know social media is really big with like you have to do this if you want to be able to like have college coaches see you and stuff like that. Like that's another way for them to see you without you having to be in person. But then I do think it's also stressful because like for me, I get like I see all these people getting offers and stuff, and it's like, well, shoot, what am I doing wrong? Like, what do I need to fix? So that kind of brings some stress on me too.
Mhm.
Louis,
Yes.
socials. What do you think about them?
Yes, I think there are pros and cons. I view it as a tool, really, more than anything. Um, promotion and all these things, and it's just so distracting. I think that's my biggest beef with social media is you can just get sucked in so easily.
And
And
time flies by.
yes,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yes, it's very disorienting in that way.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
Time absolutely flies by. So I don't know. What do you guys think other than social media? What is the next most stressful thing for you?
Uh, Peer pressure in school,
Mhm.
100%.
When you say peer pressure, tell me more. What do you mean by peer pressure?
So like, so I got, sorry. I got a friend who like, and I got a friend who like doesn't listen to anything I say and just pushes me to do things that I know is wrong.
Mhm.
And when I say no, he'll insist, and it'll be like he's begging me to do like the last thing he'll ever do in his life. And it's like, so then I fall into it, and then when we get caught, he runs and I get the blame taken on me. So peer pressure, as in like I get forced into the wrong things when I know they're wrong and I don't want to do them.
It's hard. What about you, Libby and Lewis?
I I'd say schoolwork probably and piano. My main instrument is piano. That's I it's more of an intense hobby rather than just something I do for fun.
What do you want to do after high school?
Um, I want to be a musician in any way I can. I
Awesome.
write music preferably, but who knows?
What kind of music do you listen to?
I have the strangest music taste in this generation. I listen to a lot of 70s and 80s mostly.
There is nothing strange about that. Keep doing it.
Yeah. Um, and it's just a lot of that.
Who,
'Cause
what
I
is,
just
what is
don't
your
like.
band of choice from the 70s and 80s?
Um, I really like Billy Joel.
I
He's
knew
always
you were going to say that because you're a piano player.
yeah. I grew up on Billy Joel. That was my first introduction to what I call real music,
Mhm.
and um, and then it grew, and there's just so many great bands, but they're also different. It's hard to really say one.
Do you have a go-to song or set of songs that you go to when you're feeling overly stressed?
Not really. I don't tend to listen to as much music as I used to. I've spent thousands of hours into music. In my like if I listen to music these days, it's more of like trying to learn something rather than for enjoyment, but I still listen to music for enjoyment, just not as much.
Do you follow Jacob Collier at all?
No.
You should. He's amazing. Look him up when you're done. Jacob
Yeah.
Collier. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. Libby, what about you? So you really like sports.
Mm.
Who would you say is your player that you follow the most?
That I follow the most, I would say it's more teams, but
Okay.
like I've followed like obviously like Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. I love both of them.
Mhm.
But like I follow the Pacers and the Fever, and then I follow like IU women's basketball. I follow Duke women's basketball. So it's kind of more like teams.
I love it. Okay. What is it about Caitlin and Sophie that you love so much?
Um, I think for Caitlin, it's kind of more of like just her origin, like background, because she's obviously Catholic and all of that. And then it's like she kind of grew up in like a small private church, like type of school and stuff. So kind of similar to me and stuff. And it's just like amazing to see that she's gone from that and is now like in the WNBA and stuff, but still keeping her beliefs like as a priority and stuff and not letting other people influence that.
When I think of social media pressure, she's the first person I think of.
100%.
And to be 24 years old and to be under the stress that she's under, I do think people forget that she's only 24 and they forget that she's human, that she has feelings and that what they say is stressful. But if you watch her, I would love to meet her. Obviously, everybody
Yeah.
needs to meet her, but I would love to talk to her and ask her, what do you do
Yeah.
to keep your stress level down? How do you deal with all of this? Because she has to be doing it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
There's no way that she's handling it in an unhealthy way
I figure she shoots half court shots.
all the time. She just probably sits on her sofa with her window open and just shoots shots and they just go in. She's like, there, better. That's right.
There
I'm
you
fine.
go. Yeah, yeah. For the record, I just wanted to, we've talked about what all you guys do to manage stress, and I just thought, for the record, since I hadn't heard my own technique shared, just to plant a seed with you guys, if you're down the road, you're feeling stressed out and nothing's working. So anyway, you might want to, my advice would be to eat an entire ice cream cake. And I'm just saying, just don't knock it till you've tried it.
You can do that. I have done that.
While
I'm not saying
driving,
it's the
though.
best choice, but it is a good choice in the moment.
I always make the joke to Lewis, especially now that he's in driver's ed. I talk about I can eat an entire ice cream cake while driving. I just
If
steer with my
needed.
knees, And I always say, I'm not going to tell you how I know I can do that, but just trust me.
Just know that I can.
Yeah.
What about you, Cheryl? What do you do to reduce stress?
I spend a lot of time in mindfulness. I am also Catholic, and I was raised Presbyterian. My dad was a Presbyterian minister. So church and faith have always been a very strong part of my life. And I find it very important for myself to be mindful of what I see and experience every single day that brings peace to my soul. I keep a daily note on my phone. It's just easier than writing it down that says, Dear Cheryl. And then I write all the ways that I feel like I witnessed something from God that day. And then at the bottom, I write, Love God, so that I don't forget and I don't miss everything that I do have right in front of me. I will do, sometimes people talk about things like that, like an examination. There's a whole spiritual examine that you can go through at the end of the day, like what gifts did God give me today? So for me, that's definitely one. I spend a lot of time being mindful of amazing things around me. I currently am a nanny for 3 young kids, and I thought that was going to be really difficult. I never dreamed I would be in that position doing it. But having a little 7-month-old kid grab a hold of your finger and just hold on really tight, I take those moments. And when that happens, I breathe and I say, thank you. Because to have that moment where I've earned the trust of a child is enormous. It is very difficult to, as an adult, to earn the respect of a young person. It's very difficult to do that. But adults desire that, most adults. I do. I think other adults do. So when I can do that, when I can work with young kids or work with junior high or high school kids, and I know that they have gotten to a point where they trust me or they respect me or both, that is stress relieving to me. And in those moments where I'm stressed, I'll look back on that and go, okay, you are struggling in this moment, but look back to that moment. That moment was great. And in that moment, there was a lot of beautiful things happening. And I remind myself of those really great moments in my life. But for me, that's being mindful. That's really paying attention to what's around me and acknowledging it. But making an actual literal note of it so I don't forget. Because when you get really stressed, it's easy to forget all the good things in your life. But if I keep a physical list of great things in my life, I can't forget. And I'll go back. But I spend a lot of time, I do a lot of guided meditations. Father Jim is notorious for them. But they're really great ways to relax you. So that's how I relax myself a lot. I spend a lot of time paying attention to all the great gifts around me, and I think about them, I pray about them, I meditate about them. And in all honesty, I never thought I would feel this way. I spend a lot of time in silence, and not just sound silence, physical silence. No phone. I take my watch off. Nothing's buzzing, beeping, nothing. And I will just sit in silence. And I never thought I could do that before until I tried it. And now I crave it. Silence is a great stress reducer. But when I talk to teenagers about it, they tell me that it makes them more stressed. They would rather have noise.
That's interesting and sad.
Praise in the valley is what I remember. When I'm stressed, I remember it's a saying. It's praise in the valley, and it's like when you're talking about it, it's in religious and when you talk about it religiously, the mountaintops are your like really good days. It's when you feel really happy, really close to God. But it's a saying that is supposed to remind you that praise no matter what, because when you're at that lowest point of your life and you think you can't go up, that's when you need Him the most.
Yep.
And that's when you need to focus on Him more than anything.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You need to be like the spokesperson for St. Pius School.
I thought about being a priest for about 10 years. So,
Don't
Mr. Tony,
don't stop thinking about it.
Mr. Tony and Louis called me Blonde Jesus. They still do.
Landon is the one day we'll do an entire episode just on Landon's nicknames.
We've already done it. We've already
Yeah,
done it when it was just you, me, and Louis. We talked about
Oh,
literally
that's right. I forgot about it.
everything.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
because it's
Was it
because you're very
unedited?
likable, Landon.
that.
What's that?
Did we make it unedited or did we edit it?
I can't. I'm gonna have to look that up. I can't remember. But speaking of editing, we're getting pretty long here. Lewis, do you want to
Okay.
do a final question?
Yeah. So our last question is the
Tradition.
same. Yeah, it's the same question we ask everyone. What is one quote or phrase you'd say as advice for anyone, really, anyone in the world?
To inspire others.
It's right there. It's probably, I don't know if it's, but work hard, play hard.
Mm.
That has always been vital to the core of who I am. I am a very hard worker, but as hard as I work, I will play almost twice as hard. I don't care how old I am. If there is snow on the ground and I have a sled, I'm going sledding. I might break a bone. It will be worth it. I will play really hard. If I have the chance to go down after a Pacers or Fever game to shoot, they give you, like, you can go and try to make one shot, I'm going. I'm going down there. I want to be a part of that. We were in New York City a week ago, right the day of the World Cup. So I'm right across the river from where the World Cup is happening. And there's all these soccer fans. I don't follow soccer, football, whatever. Other than Ted Lasso, I don't follow it at all. But they were going crazy in Times Square. And I handed my bag and my purse to my husband and my friends, and I said, I will be right back. I got to get in there. And I don't know anything about the sport, but I just went, I was like, I just want to be a part of whatever this joy is that they have. And I went right in and I was jumping up and down and they're singing songs. I don't know the words to these. I wanted to be a part of that energy. But that to me is play. And I think anybody that has ever worked with me will tell you that I love it. So now I get paid to play with three little kids and it's the best job ever. It's the best. So work hard, play hard.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's been very interesting and fun.
Yeah. Thank you.